Hello again. Some of you will remember the Mark II Escort that I was working on for about 8 or 9 weeks. And basically, we had the bonnet painted and there was that many ripples in it. It was just unacceptable. I got it looking shiny, but it was the worst part of the car. So Matt, the owner, has found an original good condition bonnet, and it's just come back from the body shop after being painted inside and out, and he's delivered it to me today for me to start the flatting and polishing stages. As you can see, there's lots of little bits of dirt in the paint, which I would expect. Very orange peely, few craters, but they've laid that much paint on, which is a good thing in some ways, because it gives me plenty to work with. But I've got a few days of hard flatting to get this into the sort of condition that we want for it to go back on the car. This isn't really the best way to show the defects off, but you can clearly see the dry finish around the edges, loads of orange peel, and really the whole bonnet is very orange peely. So, and we've got a nice lump in the bonnet there. Well, they're everywhere, to be honest. Lots of dust, but they'll all flat out, I would think. So I've got to flat the inside and the outside of the bonnet and get it to the sort of shine that I got on the last bonnet. Now, I've just done a test flat on this edge, and I've gone over that with 1000 grit, and I can see through the flatting that it still hasn't got all the defects, the little bits of dirt and the orange peel out. So we're going to be on doing a few days flatting. So I'll show you as we go along and see how good we can get it. See you later. Right, I've got this bonnet for the Mark II Escort, and I've been trying to prep this strip. Now, I've spent a right few hours trying my best to get rid of some of the prep marks that are in there. Now, I haven't been able to get rid of every lump. Basically, what's been happening, it's been flatted across the bonnet with flatted paper with no block, so you can see the ridges from the fingers going across the panel. Now, I've been blocking it. I've gone down to 800 paper. I've gone 800, 1000, 1500, 2000, and then I'm about to, well, that's up to 1000, and then I'm going to go 2000 or 3000. It's been a little bit of a mission, to be honest, more than I expected, but I'm going to try and show, if I can, the sort of thing I'm trying to level out. I'm relying on the reflection to show you, but you can plainly see where it has been flatted and not very good, because the light just changed shape and it's like it all over. So basically, I'm having to go a lot further than I expected to. You know, there's not an inch on the bonnet that doesn't need getting flat. So I'm going to spend probably another half an hour now refining this with flatting paper, and then I'm going to run a polisher on it and see what it looks like. To be honest, this wouldn't be acceptable in normal circumstances, but I'm going to see what it looks like polished. You know, it's an old panel, it's been painted, but in my opinion it could have been a lot flatter. You know, it's just one of them things, you know. Obviously you're working against the mentality of other people who are working on something that, you know, they see as an old panel, and they don't look at it like we do as the final results. But if this was my pagoda, I'd be flatting it and having it painted again. You know, it's just, to me, you know, it's not right. But I'm going to get it looking as good as I can. I'm just going to continue flatten this bit, polish it up, see what it looks like, and I'll give you a look when I get to that point. So I'll see you later. I've now spent about 3.5 hours on this strip, and as you can see, although this isn't finished yet, it's had a couple of stages of cutting so far. It's got to be refined, but as you can see, I think it's clear to see the difference. So it's Saturday morning and I'm just about to knock off. So next week I'll start flatting the top, and then I'm going to leave it to go off, gas out again while I do the underside of the bonnet, and see how we can get that up. But it's took a lot of work to get to this. You can see where I've masked off. This will come off in the latter refining stages. But the difference is quite good. By the time it's all refined, it'll look even shinier. But not a bad result for a morning's work, but it's going to take some doing, the whole bonnet, because it's rough. But if I get it all looking like this, I think that'll be more than acceptable. But we've got some, I've filed a big lump out of there, but there's lots of them. Lots and lots and lots of them to get out. So gonna have some heavy flatting next week, but at least I know that it's salvageable. There's over 1,000 microns of paint on here, so there's plenty for me to work with. I can't get it as flat as I'd have liked. I think I'd be taking far too much off to get it all out, but it'll be good enough when I'm finished, else I wouldn't be trying. You know, really, you know, if somebody come to me with this sort of work, I'd reflat it again and get it painted again and get it flatter. But it is what it is, and I've got to do the best I can with what I've got. Anyway, I'll see you next week and see how this gets on. Good morning. As you can see, I'm starting the day on this Escort bonnet, and because of the trouble I've had getting this to the start of a finish, I spent 3.5, 4 hours Saturday just getting that down. Today I've started off using 800 grit on a DA sander, because I think you can see the amount of orange peel that is in the bonnet. I need to knock that right down, and there's lots of little bits that I've got to get out, and So I've been knocking it down with 800, and as you can imagine, I've got to knock the paint down so that we get rid of all these marks, and there has been some quite chunky marks to get out. So basically I'm trying to knock the orange peel down and knock all the bits down so they're level. So my intentions are really to get the bonnet flatted with 800, or the top of the bonnet flatted with 800, and then I shall turn the bonnet upside down and start working on getting the inside of the bonnet polished. There is no point in getting this to a finish and then turning the bonnet over and getting it marked on the support on the trestle. So once this is knocked down, it can gas out again. I'll do the inside and then turn it back over and carry on with the further stages of flatting to bring this up to a finish. But for today, I'm going to concentrate on getting this bonnet as level as I can using the 800. I'm sure that it's going to need a lot more than this to get it level, because the orange peel is that random, especially, I think I showed you the other day, the back of the bonnet is really quite badly painted dry. It's hard to show it up, well it is for me, but it is quite bad. Let's see if I can expand it a bit to show what I'm talking about. You can see it's quite bad, and the finish is not good. So I'm going to continue on now with this side and then move over across the bonnet, and then we'll have a look at the inside of the bonnet when I turn it over. So I'll see you a little bit later. Well, I have to say this has been a bundle of laughs, flatting this bonnet. Starting to get it looking like I might be able to get a reasonable finish on it, but it's not been easy. It's all hand flatting because of the edges, you know, on the bars, everything. If I put a DA in there, it's going to hit them and take the paint off. So I'm having to do it by hand, and it's no easy task. But we are starting to make progress. So I'm going to crack on and get the rest flatted. Probably take me the rest of the day, to be honest, but we're getting there. I'll see you later. Well, I've been on the bonnet now 7.5 hours today, and I've flatted everything including the bracing. As you can see, that's flatted where it goes to the slam panel, and I've just done 2 stages of polishing on this side, and as you can see, we're starting to get some sort of good finish. Now, it's not perfect by a long way, but it is good. A lot of the prep that's underneath, probably from the original panel, is what's stopping it from being completely flat. But other than that, we're getting it up to a more than acceptable level. You can see, I think I'm going to have to flat this panel again, because I could still see orange peel that I don't want to see. the paint's different levels all the way through, so it does restrict how much I can do. But if I get it all like this, I'll be happy, and I'm sure Matthew will be. So should look nice, but it better do, the amount of work that's going into it. Okay, I'm going to be back at it tomorrow to continue the saga. See you soon. Sometimes I have to ask myself what I'm doing. Doing the underside of a bonnet is harder than doing the top. You spend that much time on these intricate parts, it does make you wonder, why me? I've started to reap the rewards of all the hard work. I'll see you in a bit. I'm using a wool mop on the rotary because they run a lot cooler than using a foam. So for the initial knockdown of the flatting marks, I'll use the wool on the rotary, and then the second stage is I'll use an orbital with a foam pad. But first and foremost, I want to get the flatting marks out. I'm using Escort MK2 on the wool mop. and a couple more sets with the wool on here that will have prepared that ready for the second stage polishing. But I'm going to go over this triangle all with the wool to get the flatting marks out. They're coming out, but there's still plenty left to do, so I won't put you through watching it all, but it just gives you an idea of how it's done. Right, see you in a bit. I thought I'd give you a look at how the bonnet's coming on. It's not as flat as I'd like it, but it's certainly a million times better than when it arrived. I'd like to go further and do a load more flatting, but it'll add about 2 days to the job. So I need to speak to the owner and see if this is acceptable. I mean, it is. You can see yourself, it's glossy. Looks wet, you know, so it is pretty good. But I'm sure I could have got it a little bit better, and it will be a little bit because the paint's been put on over old paint. Although it's been flatted, they haven't really took it down to the metal. So you've got all the lumps and bumps and stuff from underneath it that are not making it look as flat as I'd like, but it does look good. I think I'll get the owner down to have a look at it and see if he thinks it's acceptable. I mean, the finish on it is better than most cars have got, so, you know, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the gloss, but, you know, it could be better. I've been round all the edges. I've just got this, you can see I've flatted, and the sides, and I've got the back to do. And then it can be turned back over and I'll start on the outside, but I just want to leave this, let the owner look at it before I turn it over and do the outside. So for now, that's it. So I'll see you later.